Sorry about that. Enter into the week as we're taking a look at all these different thoughts around challenge and how spiritual challenges work. And there's a way in which, when we look at this, that it can actually bring us comfort because we start to understand the dynamics of what's going on, and it leaves us feeling less and less adrift when we can see that there's a process. And it would be, if you look at it like sailing, it's the same thing. You know, where there's a storm, you know there's certain things that you do, there's certain things that you don't do, and that's going to help you to navigate the storm even better. Here. So what I want to do is read for you a passage out of the book, Secrets of Heaven, 2819. In times of trial, in other words, in times where we're spiritually struggling, evil spirits attack what we love and therefore what belongs to our very life. So if you think of that as hell, like what hell wants to get at is what we really love and what we love the most and what gives us life, what gives us joy. And that is a key understanding, because that means that when we're feeling that struggle, friends, which can feel so hopeless so much of the time, we have to remember that underneath that all is a deep love that somehow is feeling attacked. And that's really key. So that's why when I was titling this, I was thinking, yeah, you know what? If you're choosing love, you're choosing a challenge. Anytime we choose to do the best we can to be a loving person, you can absolutely count on challenges being there. And it's interesting, right? When we look at that, friends, because if we're having a bad day, like relationally things are not working, it colors the whole thing. We'd have a million external circumstances that are going our way. But if a relationship is not, we feel that the whole day is dark. And that idea of what we love the most is what gets challenged is key. Now notice, it's not God that's challenging that. It's not God that is testing that or trying to see like, well, how much do you really love them? How much can you really put up with? It's not that at all. It's hell doing that. And God kind of stays in the place of helping us to protect, how to cultivate that deep love. So what does this mean in terms of a real practical element for our lives? Well, I think it means a couple of things. One is there is, as I noted, there's a note of optimism here, which is, all right, so if I'm going through a challenge and it's a little sobering piece of good news, it means that there's something that I love that's being attacked. And the second part, and this is a courtesy of a therapist who I did a lot of work with over the years, wonderful person, and what he said, yeah, these challenges, he had a beautiful word for it. He said they tend to be the golden finger, and what he meant by that is it's a golden finger that points to what you value the most. So you really want to get clear on what you value. Look where you feel that those challenges coming up, and it will point right to it. And it's a different way of seeing it. And it's why we can't be afraid of heartbreak, because heartbreak, will have challenges, but it will also point to what we truly value in life. And I think so much of life is like, how do we pour ourselves into that space? And when we do, friends, when we really get to the point that, okay, it's to choose love, is to choose challenge, it's to see challenge as this really positive thing. It's something I tell young couples all the time is no book, no stories, any good without challenges. And these challenges, if we can hold them the right way, we can see these as just growth. They're what makes the story really interesting. It's why when you talk back with couples, older couples, about what was the most meaningful moments of their marriage, not infrequently they'll talk about times of deep trial. Yeah, this was a really challenging time for us. I wasn't sure whether we were going to make it, and I'd lost my job, and and we did. Or times where they'll think back with a lot of real warm, fuzzy memories over time where they felt totally overwhelmed. We had 4 kids, we had way too many bills, we had no space, and the dishwasher broke or the laundry machine broke, whatever it might be. But those moments tend to be precious over time. And I think that's just a great way to hold it. And friends, it's just holding life as this is the way it is. I said on Sunday, life is the process. Like that is the point. Life is this process thing. And it's all kind of set up in God's providence to help us move on our way home. It doesn't mean that God throws challenges in our way, but it means that when those challenges come, there's going to be this love that pours through us that's from God, that's going to continue to move us forward, even in ways we may not recognize at the time. We may not recognize it the next week, the next year, the next decade even, but that there is a trust and a love that's going to move us forward through these challenges. And to help that love that we have, help it to actually come more and more to the fore, more and more to our very conscious way of living life. So I hope that makes sense, dear friends. And with that, what we're going to do is shift gears. When we shift gears here at New Church Live, we do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we say hi to anyone who's joined us on Facebook. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath. And the prayer bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, friends, let's get a little cheery hello to folks here and say hi to those who are joining us here online. Again, I hope all you folks have a wonderful day. My beautiful wife and I are going down to the New Jersey shore to say hi to my two sisters who are down there on vacation. So that will be a lot of fun for our day. All right, cheery hello here. Linda, good morning from Louisiana. Oh, that's cool. Love your messages. So glad, Lydia, you're joining us this morning. And Marcus, good morning to you. You're local and just always great to have you joining us, Marcus. For those of you who don't know, Marcus is a guy who's in charge of all things musical and all things technical at New Church Live, which gives him quite the job description. All right, and flipping on over to here. Good morning from lovely Berea, Kentucky. Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds beautiful. Actually, I love that name. And another good morning, Linda. My brother's in surgery. We will definitely keep a prayer out for him, Linda, for your brother in St. Luke's. We will do that. All right, dear friends. Well, listen, God bless. Have a wonderful